Welcome to another reformer video. My name is Melanie. Today we're going to do a reformer video for lower body, and truth be told, I had an entirely different workout plan for us, but I just got 3 stitches in my hand, so it's all about lower body thighs today. We're going to start on 2 heavy springs and 1 light spring, or 2 red and 1 blue for balanced body IQ. We're going to begin with headrests down. Lie your body flat down on the bed. Feet will be hip distance apart, arches of the feet on the foot bar. Arms long by your sides. Give yourself a little bit of space between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Nice neutral spine with your tailbone heavy to the mat. We're going to take a big breath in, ribs down. Exhale, you're going to curl the pelvis up, roll the spine up into your bridge position. As best as you can, find a diagonal line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders. Big breath in at the top. Exhale, find your tight jeans feeling, roll the spine down 1 vertebra at the time until you feel the sacrum hit the mat nice and heavy. Let's take a few more. Big breath in. Exhale, roll up. Your objective is to try to keep the carriage as still as possible and your pelvis as still as possible. So what you're doing is you're marrying your breath, you're marrying control, and you're really trying to make sure your pelvis isn't bobbling. Its hip bones are nice and even each time you roll up and down. You're doing this on your own time here. Good, feeling lots of fire. Exhaling as you roll up, taking a big breath in at the top. Pressing those hands into the mat, arms into the mat, really feeling hamstrings fire up here. Good, we'll take a couple more. Feeling the back of your neck be nice and long. Getting right into the hard stuff. And make sure your collarbone is rolled nice and wide. Shoulders rolled back. Hold up at the top here. We're going to take a big breath. Exhale. Extend your legs long, keeping the hips nice and high. Inhale. Draw the carriage softly to a close. Exhale. Press out, inhale, press in, taking care not to let your back arch here. Good, inhale, bring it back. So each time you come in, you want to make sure you're having a nice neutral spine. You're not curled under, you're not arched back. Nice and neutral. Continuing on, exhale to press out, inhale to come in. You want to think about almost coming in on an upward diagonal. That will help you make sure the hips stay high here. Good. Let's go for our last one here. Good. Bring the carriage halfway in. We're going to hold here. Bring one leg up to tabletop. Place it back down. Good. Other leg to tabletop, trying to keep that carriage nice and still. Place it back down. Hips stay high and lifted. And your goal is to get the knee right about above the hip. Shin parallel to the ceiling, pelvis nice and stable. Good, let's go for 4 more alternating sides, still breathing. This is 4 and 3, taking care not to let one hip dip down. Hips are staying lifted, core is engaged. And last one, organize yourself before you move on. Find that nice diagonal line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale, roll it down. Bottom of the sacrum hits the bed, close the carriage. Walk your feet as wide as the foot bar. Rock your knees side to side. You can let the top hip kind of rock over here. That's completely fine. Good, nice and relaxed. Let your low back really release. And let's move on. Next, we're going to move into footwork, which is really kind of a misnomer. It's really a total body exercise. So we're going to go for 3 heavy springs or 3 heavy, 1 light. So for me, that's 3 reds, or if you want to go for 3 reds and 1 blue, if you want a little extra spice, feel free. I'm going to put the headrest to the upward position, and I'm going to begin with my heels on the foot bar, hip distance apart. So knees are right in line with your hips. Hips are right in line with your knees. Flex the feet back. Rock your tailbone so it's in a neutral position, sacrum nice and heavy, arms long by your sides, big breath in, exhale, press away, Legs nice and long. Watch your feet. I just slipped. Inhale, bring it back slowly with control. So we're going to exhale, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings. Inhale, bring it right back in. Press through those heels. Feel the glutes engage before you move the carriage. And bring it back in. Taking care not to let the rib cage rock up. We really want to keep that nice and heavy down in the mat. Glutes are firing this whole time. We're going to go for 5 more. Can pick up the pace as long as that squeeze is constant. Keeping the knees right in line with the toes. Good. We're going to take about another 2 or 3. Exhaling as you press away. Inhale as you bring it back in. Nice and fluid. Collarbone is still rolled wide. Very nice. Now we press all the way out. We're going to bring it halfway home. Tiny pulses up and down. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Really feeling in glutes and hamstrings. Probably a bit of quads too. But really try to engage the back line of the body first. Last 2. 1. Big breath in. Press away. Inhale, draw the carriage in slowly with control. Very nice. Now we're going to bring the toes to the foot bar in a Pilates V. So the heels will be together, toes will be apart, knees about as wide as your shoulders or slightly wider. Big breath in, heels stay lifted. We're going to exhale, straighten out the legs, inner thighs zip together. Inhale, draw the carriage in slowly with control. Heels stay together. Exhale, press away. Nice long extension. Bring the carriage back in with control. So you're going to feel inner thighs here. Think about the legs wrapping outward. So we're thinking about an external rotation. Work through the glutes is happening here too. Definitely a lot of inner thighs. So check in with yourself. Make sure your knees are tracking in line with your toes. Those heels are staying planted together. You're exhaling as you press away. Rib cage staying down. Upper body nice and relaxed. Very good. Let's go for another 4. 3. Finding that full extension, nice long legs. 2. And 1. Good. Now we're going to bring it halfway home. Tiny pulses up and down, just moving the carriage a few inches. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Exhale, extend straight. Inhale, bring it in slowly with control. Very nice. Now we're going to rotate back to parallel. So toes and knees are facing forward. Heels are lifted, balls of the feet on the foot bar. Scooch down from the shoulder blocks just an inch if you need a little more space. Big breath in, exhale. We're going to push the carriage away. Press the heels under slowly with control. Inhale, press them right back up. Keep the heels lifted as you bring it back home. Big breath in, exhale. Lower the heels under, legs are straight. Lift the heels up. Inhale, keep the heels high as you bring the carriage in with control. Don't let the springs move you. You move the springs. So it's very tempting on the way back in to let the carriage do all the work for you. Not what you want to do. Work on the way out. Press the heels down. Press the heels up. Resist the springs to come home. Should feel a lot of work happening through the calves, through the hamstrings, and definitely through all those little muscles through your feet. You want to feel equal weight through the big toe joint and through the little toe joint. Good. I want to do about 5 more of these here. Exhale. This is one of my favorite reformer exercises because it just works so many muscles in the body. Core too, in addition to legs. Good. 3 more. And as you press those heels under, think about stomping something down. It's like you're compressing garbage in a garbage can or something like that. Really pushing something down, like you're moving through clay almost. Knees are nice and straight as those heels go under. Last one, we're going to pause here. Press the heels under. Now we're going to keep it going. We're going to lower and lift for 10. Knees are straight. Core is engaged. We inhale as we lower, exhale as we lift. This is 8, 7, 6. Make sure you're still breathing. Upper body is nice and relaxed. Equal weight in the big toe joint and the little toe joint. 4 more. We're going to try to avoid popping up. We really want to have slow control up, slow control under, equal weight in each foot. Last 2. And 1. Lift. We're going to bend one leg, extend the other for a nice calf stretch. Big breath in, exhale. Relax that straight leg here. Straighten out both to switch sides. Bend the opposite knee. Straighten the opposite leg. Let that straight leg relax. Bring it back in. So the legs straighten out, heels lift. Keep the heels lifted as you bring it back in. And we're going to close the carriage. If you haven't yet added a 4th spring, we're going to go for 3 heavy, 1 light now. So I'm on 3 reds and 1 blue. So I'm going to lie back down. Heels are going to be on the outer corners of the foot bar. Going to be in a pyramid position or like a second position in ballet. So legs rotated out to the side. Bottom of the sacrum still on the mat. Legs nice and long. Flex the feet. We're going to take a big breath in. Exhale. Push away to straighten out the legs. Knees track right over toes. So you don't have to be in a really extreme turnout. It can be at about 45 degrees or wherever feels best to your body today, where we're taking those same concepts of exhale on the extension. Feel your core engage as you press out. Resist the springs as you come in. Very nice. Good. So we're going to keep this going for about another 5. Really taking care to go for this slow control. Feeling the inner thighs wake up on this one as well. Good. Last 2. And we're going to go for 1 more. Bring the carriage halfway home, still following that same sort of process we were doing before. We're going to take those tiny pulses up and down, just moving the carriage a little bit, micro pulses. We've got 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in, exhale. Extend the legs straight. Deep inhale at the top, exhale, bring it in slowly with control. Close the carriage, draw your knees in toward your chest. Take a big breath in, exhale. Pull the knees in toward your chest just a little bit more. Rock your hips side to side. Place your hands on your knees. You can just take a quick circle of the knees, opening up through the hip joints, and reverse. Very good. We're going to move on to our last little exercise here, and we'll finish up with a stretch after that. All right, we're going to finish up with feet and straps. So I've switched on to 1 red spring and 1 blue spring, or 1 heavy spring and 1 light spring. I'm making sure I've got my straps nearby, headrest is up. And what I'm going to do is just take hold of those straps and lie back on your machine. So we're going to get a little bit of space between your shoulders and the shoulder blocks. Legs will extend up to 90 degrees. And we'll start straight up toward the ceiling. So I'm going to really focus on getting my heels over my hips. I'm getting my spine into neutral position, so the bottom of my sacrum is heavy on the mat and my legs are in parallel, so knees are facing my nose. And I'm going to go with straight legs, kneecaps pulled up, quads engaged. Big breath in. Exhale, equal pressure through each strap. Lower the legs down to 45 or a little bit lower. Inhale, bring it right back up. So we're taking care to take really slow control here. Lowering the legs down, lifting them up. You're going to feel abdominals waking up too here to support you, especially as those legs start to get a little bit lower. And if your back is feeling okay and you feel like you can go a little bit lower with those legs to give yourself additional challenge without arching the back or popping the ribs, feel free to do that. But if you only have 45 or even a more modest range accessible to you today, that's completely fine. Good. 2 more. And 1. Good. Open up at the top. So the legs at 90. Open wider than your reformer. Draw the legs down, around, together at the bottom, still in parallel. Back up to 90 degrees. Make sure you don't roll the pelvis under. Still a neutral spine. Keeping those leg circles going. Open, down, around, together, and up. Open, down, around, together, squeeze the inner thighs, and up. 4 more. Open, down, around, together, and up, making sure those ribs are staying down, your shoulders are rolled nice and back, collarbone is wide. Still breathing. Should have about 1 more. And now we reverse. Legs come up to 90. Spine in neutral, we're gonna press down, open at the bottom, draw the legs around, up, and squeeze together at 90 degrees. So what I really advise you do is find those Tada moments. So legs come together, squeeze the inner thighs before you press. So I'll keep this nice and organized. Make sure you are hitting all the right marks. And make sure your hips are both feeling really even on the mat here too. If you feel like one hip is pulling up, you really want to think about those Tada moments of squeezing the legs together as an opportunity to organize and find your correct positioning here. Let's go for 1 more. Good. And now at the top, we're going to turn the legs to an outward rotation. So we're rotating through the hips, heels go together, toes go apart. We're going to lower down to 45. We're going to go for figure 8. So the legs are going to open out in external rotation, turn to face each other, internal rotation, so the toes are facing in, heels are facing out. Switch, heels together, toes apart, open the legs, switch, knees are facing inward, toes are facing inward. So try to keep the legs engaged and long. You may feel the carriage moving a little bit as you're moving the legs out and in. This doesn't have to be a really crazy wide range of motion. It can be as wide as your reformer or a little bit wider. We're just really focusing on working this rotation through the hips. Good. Last one. Now we're going to reverse. As you squeeze in, heels lead to come together. Flip, inward rotation, open them out. Flip, heels come together as you squeeze inward. Flip, heels point out as you open the legs. So you may notice for you, inward rotation may be harder or easier, and external rotation may be harder or easier. There's no one-size-fits-all reason for that. Maybe the type of movement you've done in the past, may just be your physical makeup, but meet yourself in the range that you are today and see if you can slowly start to expand that as you do this video more. 1 more. Good. Bring the legs together, flip to parallel, raise the legs up to 90 degrees. We're going to flip back to external rotation. Flex the toes now. What we're going to do is go to frog or diamond position. So heels are together, toes are apart, knees are about over your hips. We're in external rotation. We're going to press the legs out to 45 degrees, heels together, toes apart, legs squeeze together. Inhale, bring them back in, knees over hips, heels stay together. So we're really focusing on keeping the heels squeezed together as we draw the legs in and out. And as we do this, we don't want the knees to come in too far into the chest because the bottom of the sacrum is going to start to peel up off the mat. So really just focus on getting those knees right about over your hips. Doesn't have to be exact, but try to focus on maintaining that heavy tailbone or heavy bottom of the sacrum on the mat as the legs go in and out. So this is our baby frog. We're going to go for 1 more. Good. Now the legs are going to come into that frog bent position. We're going to extend up to 90 degrees in external rotation. Press down. Keep the heels together as you draw the legs back in. Frog circles. Up to 90. Lower down. Keep the heels together as you draw the legs back. Good. Let's go for 4 more. Good. Sometimes keeping the heels together is the hardest part of this. Been doing this a long time, and even still, sometimes that's a little bit of a struggle for me. It just depends on the day. And again, find those Tada moments of extending the legs all the way up to 90 before you keep moving. Good. And next time you go up to 90, we're going to reverse. So now we're here at 90, still in external rotation. Bend the knees, knees over hips. Extend out straight to 45 degrees. Find your Tada. Bring it up to 90. Bend the knees. Extend to 45, up to 90. 4 more. Using your breath as you extend the legs out, pushing through the straps. Last 2, make sure you're still feeling this in your abdominals. Focus on the core here as well. Last one, up to 90 degrees. We're gonna bring the heels together, soles of the feet together, knees separate, hold onto the ropes for our butterfly stretch. Let the feet drift down toward the mat or into the well. We're gonna take a big breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Feel your lower back and your inner thighs release. We're gonna keep hold of the ropes above the hardware. Extend the right leg out to the side, holding onto that rope. Feel a nice deep inner thigh stretch. If you wanna pull the leg in toward your body, feel free to do that. And bring it back to starting. Left leg goes out to the side, hold onto the rope. If you wanna pull the rope a little bit to give a deeper stretch, feel free to do that. And ropes come in, straps come off of the arches of the feet. Next, we're gonna go for one last glute stretch. So we're gonna flip onto one red spring only. We're gonna come back to lying on your back. We're gonna place the right strap onto the right foot. So the right leg will go up toward the ceiling, and we're gonna cross the left leg over the right thigh. What we're gonna do is let that right leg bend. You can hold onto the thigh if you like, or keep the leg straight, and just feel the resistance of that red spring or that heavy spring through the strap of the foot. Really intensify the glute stretch on the left side here. You can let your hands relax. You can place a supporting left hand on that left knee if that feels good. But take a big breath in. Let's see if you can let your muscles relax a little bit more and let that spring deepen the stretch for you on that left side. When you're ready, take the strap off of the foot. We're gonna get ready to move on to the other side. So left strap goes onto the left foot. Straighten that leg up toward the ceiling. What we're gonna do is cross the right ankle over that left thigh. When you're ready, we're gonna bend the left leg. Let that come into the supported, deepened figure four stretch. You can place your right hand on your right thigh or right knee if that feels good, or down by your side. Let that resistance really deepen the stretch on the right side here. Let your muscles melt. Very nice. Straighten that left leg. Take the strap off of the foot, and we're gonna move on to a final scooter stretch. So rolling up to sitting, hopefully without smashing the carriage like I did, but it happens. You're gonna bring your hands to the foot bar. So shoulder distance apart. Your right foot will be close to the front edge of the machine. Left foot up against the shoulder block behind you. You're gonna square the hips off so they both face forward. And you're just gonna let your knee drift back. Should feel a nice hip stretch along that left side. Good, and bring the carriage back in. Feel your head drifting up on an upward diagonal. Big breath in, exhale. Let it relax and release here. You can choose to keep your chest lifted. Some people like to bring the forearms down to the foot bar here. That might feel good to you. I personally like the deepened hip stretch here by keeping the chest lifted. You can also choose to arch it back a little bit. Explore, find out what feels good to you. And bring it back. Let's go for the opposite side. So when you're ready, the left foot will come to the outside edge of the machine, right foot up against the shoulder block. Square the hips off so they both face forward. Good, and press it back. Chest is lifted to begin. If you want to take the foot bar variations here, forearms to the foot bar variations here, feel free. Big breath in. You may feel one side is a lot stickier than the other. That's very normal. Deep breath in, exhale. Press it back. Chest is lifted. Good. Draw the carriage in slowly with control. And you are all done. You did amazing. So that was our lower body only reformer workout. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you come back. Please subscribe. I do workouts weekly, and I would love to see you again. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon.